Hey guys, Pejman Gadimi here, back with another exotic car hacks video, and today I am answering a huge question you guys have been asking me, or should I say trolling my comments. I don't know, trolling, asking. I mean, I get all the poor people coming in commenting about, all the negativity about how things are impossible if you don't have a lot of money. So I thought, what best way to actually get rid of those trolls by educating you on how this process of lending works. How do you get top lenders to lend you $100,000, $150,000 on an exotic car in the United States without having any down payment? Sounds crazy, right? Well, if you actually follow one of my webinars, which you can actually click the link below and sign up for, which is free, so you have really nothing to lose by getting a free webinar. But anyways, if you're following that, you've already seen me talk a little bit about how to actually get, or how I buy, I should say, a lot of my exotics with zero down to make a point. That you can actually get into a $220K car with no money down. It's possible. Now, just because it's possible doesn't mean it's overnight and it's easy, but there is a strategy and it's doable. Now, for my last student, I was actually a 73-year-old woman, which I'm going to leave nameless for now, but if you're part of my training, you already know who I'm talking about. Now, this student had never owned an exotic car before. So in order for her to get into an exotic car, she needed to actually bridge her way into a more expensive car similar to this Rolls-Royce Ghost here, which was valued at $130,000. And so how did we do it? Real simple. We took a $60,000 car and helped them finance it. Get into a $60K car first, no money out of pocket, and then be able to immediately turn around and 3 months later use that car to bridge her way into a $120,000 car. So the whole point was that there was a bridge, or there was a process to this madness, but banks do lend money with no money down. What they look for are 3 key criteria, and I covered this very specifically in the training as well as in my live workshops where I teach you exactly how to leverage these strategies against banks to make sure that you make the most of your lending experience and are able to get the lowest rates, the longest terms, and ultimately the least, if not no money down on any deal. So how did we do that? 3 basic steps. Banks look at your credit score, but the credit score only determines your interest rate. So just because you have a good credit score does not mean that you're going to find a lot of success with a bank approving you. The credit score is only tied, especially in exotic car lending, only to the score, meaning to the percentage rate you're going to receive as a result of an approval. 2, the second piece of it, very important, your trade lines. Have you previously had credit that was expensive? You're asking to borrow $130,000. So what have you borrowed before that is somewhat comparable? Have you had a mortgage? Have you had another car for $50,000, $60,000? The bank is looking for trade lines they can leverage to establish your ability to pay back high monthly payments. Now, they don't care. Banks don't care about the exotic car hacks way or all that stuff and how you don't pay the payment and you get it back and all that stuff. They don't care about my strategies, which you'll learn on my website. They only care about the fact that they're looking at their money from a black and white standpoint. Can you afford to pay $1,000 a month, $500 a month, whatever that payment is going to be? That's what they look at, and have you done it before? And the third thing they look at that nobody's talking about is the overall picture. People don't realize that credit is like water. It can change on a daily basis. And it's super important to understand that the best and most effective way to get a bank to lend you money is to provide them a great picture. What I mean by that is, if you're renting a home, it's not helping you because that means you can go anywhere you want. If you own your own business and you barely started, it's not helping you because obviously you could lose a lot of money because you don't have stability. So they like stability. And they're looking for every indicator in your picture, like the overall picture, not your face and how ugly you are or how pretty you are. You see how I said ugly first, right? Yeah, you get the trick there. Anyways, so they're not looking at that. They're looking at the entire overall picture, and they're looking at how effective are you, like as a person, how likely are you to repay that back? Meaning, if you're a doctor who owns a beautiful $1 million home, right, and I've been practicing for 10 years, it's working out very, very well for you. Why? Well, because obviously doctors are more like long-term employment type, like long-term jobs that people don't usually give up overnight, right? So people are not going out and becoming doctors so they change their mind 6 weeks later and start something new. But people who are entrepreneurs could be on a business and could not really make a lot of money, and they could go on to the next and the next. So again, the lack of stability gives entrepreneurs like a lower edge in getting approved than a person who's employed in a stable job for a couple of years. And same thing with renting a home versus owning a home. Same thing with if you've had a lot of changes of addresses and so on and so forth, which is important to position position yourself well before you apply. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they ruin their opportunity to get into a car zero down because they think that writing exactly the truth the exact same way, the right way on an application will get them exactly either approved or denied, and there's no way around it. Let me give you a perfect example. If you're in real estate, right? If you're in real estate and you understand how to approve loans, you understand that there's two types of loans. There is an actual banker and there's a broker. Now, the broker sells your loan to a banker, so why wouldn't you directly go to the banker to pay less? Because the broker shops your loan. He creates a picture-perfect scenario, and then once he has all the aspects in, he sells the package to 5 banks and gets the best rate for you. Now, and then what he can make his margins on the rate in between and all the fees in between. But the broker is important because it's helping you create that picture perfect when you're buying a house. Well, it's the same thing with Exotic Car Hacks. You're helping yourself create that picture perfect so that you can make sure that you can get approved for 60, 70, 100K cars within a couple of months and be able to do that with no money down and eventually get into Huracans, McLarens, and so on and so forth like I do with no money down. So it's a progressive journey. All of the tools are available for you at exoticcarhacks.com. I wanted to give you just a kind of an overview of how lending works because so many people are confused out there saying, PJ, listen, man, I have an 820 credit score. I can get whatever I want. And that is not true. And I don't want you to get confused. And I know right now there's dealers watching this getting pissed off that I'm giving this away. There's also the F&I guy sitting in a room nodding his head like, yeah, educate these fools. Like they need to know before they come see me at my F&I office. They're prepared to get their loans, right? So this is why it's super important. The more education you have, the less likely dealers, F&I managers, or anything else are able to either take advantage of you or stick you into products you won't want or get you into rates that aren't relevant to what your credit is. Remember, rate equals credit score in the exotic car world. Everything else is your picture that the bank's evaluating. So hopefully you found this video educational. You'll subscribe for more videos. And of course, make sure to watch my other video, which is insane. It's got 3 million views. It's called How to Legally Steal a Car. I think you should definitely understand the strategy we teach at Exotic Car Hacks. But subscribe to the channel. Catch me on my free webinar at the link below. Or make sure you visit us at exoticcarhacks.com.